Utawarerumono Itsuwari no Kamen episode 1. I'm gonna say this right now. I think this is personally gonna be my hidden gem of the season. Like, the amount of enjoyment I got from this first episode, just entertainment value alone, when very little transpired, just strictly character introductions, a tiny bit of worlding and setup, and just a very laid-back episode with, you know, just kind of really getting us into the world and introducing us to the characters. I was having so much fun with it, dude. Just the aesthetic, what White Fox is doing with everything, the music, the very fact that it brings me back just a tinge of nostalgia to Utawarerumono in the past, and I'll get into that in a second. And I'm loving the main protagonist. Haku's a beast. His fucking attitude and everything, but he's like, he tells the dude, he's like, don't tell him I fixed the water wheel. Just don't tell them. I don't want to do any more work, man. Just this kind of lazy, laid-back kind of attitude that he has, doesn't remember shit, and yet the way he goes about, you know, addressing his amnesia, he's like, oh, this is a good opportunity for me. I can pick like a nice, cool sounding name right now. I'm like, dude, this man is a boss. I love him, and I have a potential best girl candidate right now for the season with KUON, dude. Like, oh my god. After that scene, like, I was loving her from the onset, dude. Just the look and everything like that. And that's one of the things that I do starkly remember from the first Utawarerumono, you know, the first anime that came out, you know, years ago at this point. Was that there was a similar, it's the same world, and I'll explain everything in a second, but there was a similar, you know, the heroine of that was the same race as KUON is, with the cat ears and the tail and everything like that. And ever since the scene where he pulled her tail and she freaked out and everything like that, I was like, I'm in love with this girl, right? But that scene where she was peering in on the man in the bathroom and everything like that, the dude, his towel falls off, like, just the innuendo, and he's doing these stretches and shakes and everything like this, you hear the fucking clapping sound, and her tail, you see getting all furled and what. I'm just like, oh my god, I love fucking KUON. The comedy was on point. It was very, you know, just very classic vibe to the series. And let's get into it right now. So, for those of you that don't know, this is an adaptation of a visual novel. There was an anime adaptation of the first visual novel. This is a sequel visual novel. However, it does not chronologically follow, or maybe it does, but it does not, you know, directly follow the events of the first Utawarerumono. It takes place in the same universe. However, you know, you don't have to have seen the first Utawarerumono to watch this. So if you want to check it out, definitely check it out. But the music is on point, and I believe the dude that's doing the music for this also did the music for Two Heart and White Album. You know, he did those because this is a visual novel made by Leaf. He's probably on, you know, the staff and everything like that. Their go-to, probably getting tracks from the visual novel and, you know, some new tracks made for the anime and everything like that. And just the way it drops in, it kind of reminds me of the first Utawarerumono, because I barely remember shit about it. Like, I have the first anime, I haven't seen it in years. Like, I know it's been at least over 6 years. I feel like 2 years ago or something like that, I tried to pop it in and rewatch it, and I watched like 2 episodes, and then something else came up and I forgot about it. But the setup seems kind of similar with the amnesia that Haku has and everything like that. He gets cast in, we get dropped in. I really love the aesthetic and the art style that White Fox is presenting us with, from the character designs and how they're, and that's a product of the visual novel, but from how the character models look, the color palettes, the way the world looks, the aesthetic and everything about it, I'm just like, it's so clean, it's beautiful, it has this nice air about it, dude. The animation isn't anything godly right now, but White Fox has that, you know, that they have that potential, and I know they're gonna go in with this. And I hope they do go in there, because they haven't you know, done anything since, I believe, Kamen was their last work. So they need to go in. Plus, the director that they have for, you know, Utawarerumono, which is, I believe his name is Motonaga, he did Katana Gatari and everything like that. So I have faith in the man's adaptation skills. I know he's done a couple more works, but I forgot what it is exactly. I don't want to waste time going into that. But I have faith in the man's skills and the direction so far, the pacing with this episode, even though very little transpired. I'm just like, yo, I'm feeling this, dude. I'm feeling the vibe. But I believe that there is some tie to the protagonist. And correct me if I'm wrong for those of you who remember the first Utawarerumono anime or have played the visual novels. But the protagonist of the first one was named Haku or something like that, or Haku. So when KUON names him and he's like, Haku, the name of the song, you know, I'm guessing it's some hero, the legend of what transpired in the first Utawarerumono. I remember vaguely what happened, but it's most of the concepts and everything in this universe has left my mind. So it's really fresh to me right now. And the whole build up with the curses, you see this kind of, that scene just really got me into it with the, you know, this kind of centipede-like fiendish creature that turns into the slime and morphs into the human face and everything like that. You know, have the weight of Haku's amnesia bearing down the series and him getting, you know, KUON saving him and her taking him in and everything like that. you have to wonder if potentially what her whole deal is, what's up with this town and everything like that, meeting these characters, and potentially if there is some endgame from her saving him, or if it just happens to be a coincidence and she is a genuine person, which that's how I feel about it. So I'm really interested to get more into the world, see where this is going. This first episode really makes me kind of want to rewatch the first Utawarerumono, or at the very least play the visual novels at some point, because I might not do it. I might just rewatch first Utawarerumono and just save the visual novels till after this is done so I don't spoil myself. But I don't know, there's just something about the air of this anime. Like, it's nothing crazy or anything like that. You don't have to like rush out. If you're watching a bunch of other things, you can put it on the back burner. I would say that. But for me personally, I think it has that same vibe and air that I felt when I watched the first episode of Roka last season. And I'm just like, yo, I feel like this is going to be my hidden gem that turns into something that's like one of the most entertaining things for me to watch on a weekly basis, that I just want to see and get back with these characters and everything like that, because fucking Haku and my best girl KUON, dude, it's too real. It's too real. And fucking KUON's voice actress, dude. KUON's voice actress is Tanedia Risa, man. Like, that so if you don't know who Tanedia Risa is, she did last season, she was Rory, best girl Rory from Gate, Rory Mercury. She's done Kaori from Shigatsu, Saki from Shinsekai Yori. She was Erina in Soma. So I'm loving the voice actress for her, and the character's awesome. Like, she's definitely a potential best girl candidate out of the new series that have started up this season. So if you've seen this first episode, let me know your thoughts on it. Just a very average setup episode in terms of the plot progression, everything like that. A lot of mysteries lurking beneath the surface and a lot of worlding and exposition to be done and to be had. But ultimately, I love the pace of it. I love the characters that we've seen so far. It does kind of have this classic vibe to it, and I really enjoy that. So let me know your thoughts on this first episode. I'm definitely going to continue reviewing Utawarerumono. And that's pretty much it. I feel like I need to rewatch the first season. I mean, let me know, like, if I'm wrong about my perception of this, because this is what I've heard and what I've looked into and everything like that, that it is in fact, even though it's in the same universe, I don't have to rewatch the first season. And I don't see any clear ties, like any characters so far that carry over from that, at least from my memory. And like, it's been over 6 years since I've seen this series. So anyway, let me know your thoughts on this episode, and I'm out. Peace.